Okay guys, so I am going to explain last week's assignment where you guys had to look at a food web and then break it down to the different types of producers and consumers. A lot of you were close, but some of you guys got it wrong because you didn't understand that organisms can be more than one type of consumer. So we're going to start looking and breaking this one down. So we're going to start with the producers. So the producers we know because there is no arrows pointing towards them. So only away from them. So what we're going to do is start with the star cactus. And that's our first producer. And then our grass and our cactus. Okay. So estos son productores. Son las cosas que hacen su propia comida. No tienen flechas para yendo para ellos, nomás de ellos a otro organismo o otro organismo como este. So, todo el tiempo empezamos con esos. Cuando ya agarramos los productores, podemos empezar a ver quién van a ser los consumidores primarios. So next, we're going to go to our primary consumers. Anything that eats a producer is considered a primary consumer. And you know that because there's an arrow pointing towards it. So here we have our kangaroo rat that eats a star cactus. So I'm going to put that. Our rabbit also eats the star cactus. So I'm going to put the rabbit. And then our grasshopper and our rabbit eat the grass. We also have the cactus being eaten by the grasshopper, so our grasshopper is the next one. Okay, so now that we have our primary consumers, those are everyone. Next, we can go to secondary consumers. So secondary consumers are the things that eat the primary consumers. So, los consumidores primarios son las cosas que se comen los productores. Pero el secondary va a ser las cosas que se comen los consumidores primarios. So secondary consumers eat primary consumers. So anything that eats a kangaroo rat is considered a secondary. So here our tarantula is considered because it eats a kangaroo rat. So we're going to put tarantula. We also have an arrow pointing to the rattlesnake, so the rattlesnake is also considered that. And that's everything that eats it. So I didn't talk about this earlier, but you have all these arrows from pointing from all of these things to the bacteria. So bacteria is not considered consumer, it's considered decomposer because it doesn't really eat these things. What it does is it breaks down these things when they're dead. So if you see, everything has an arrow pointing to the bacteria, and that's because it's considered a decomposer. Usually when you have a decomposer, mostly everything will be pointing towards it, and that's how you know it's a decomposer. So la bacteria se llama decomposer porque es la cosa que cuando todos estos se mueren va a descomponer los organismos cuando se mueren. So, todas las flechas o todos los organismos tienen flechas a eso, a la bacteria, y así sabes que va a ser decomposer, porque cuando tienes todos los organismos con flechas para eso, ese organismo, así sabemos que es. Next, we're gonna do the grasshopper. So let's see. Oh, the rabbit. The rabbit gets eaten by the rattlesnake, which we already have, and then it also gets eaten by the hawk. So we're gonna put the hawk here, and then the last thing we're gonna do is the grasshopper. So we already did the rabbit, now we're doing the grasshopper. The grasshopper is eaten by the lizard, and that's it. So we're going to put the lizard here. So again, whatever eats a primary consumer gets considered a secondary consumer. So now you might think, okay, we are done now. We don't have a tertiary consumer, but that's not true. Even though we named all of the organisms, we still have tertiary consumers here. So we're going to see what can eat any of these secondary consumers. And in this case, the tarantula is eaten by the rattlesnake. So we can put rattlesnake here. And this is where a lot of you guys got it wrong. So you can have something be more than one type of consumer. So the rattlesnake secondary, but it's also a tertiary. And then we have the lizard. The lizard gets eaten by the hawk. So the hawk is also considered a tertiary consumer. So again, anything that eats secondary consumers, even if it's a secondary consumer itself, still gets considered a tertiary consumer. So aquí tenemos organismos que se comen a cosas que son secondary consumers. So el rattlesnake se come la tarántula, por eso la sirvienta se come la tarántula, por eso también es tertiary. Aunque todavía es secondary consumer, puede ser también tertiary. La misma cosa con el hawk. El hawk se come la lagartija, so por eso también es tertiary consumer. And this shows how you can have more than one, or an organism be more than one type of consumer. And then the last thing, it would be the decomposer. Again, we know that it's a decomposer because everything is pointing towards it. And that's the bacteria. So some food webs will have decomposers, some will not. It doesn't really matter if they do or if they don't. Usually everything is going to be decomposed either way by bacteria or fungi. But you'll know decomposers usually are bacteria and fungi because they eat dead things. Okay, so I'm hoping that this helped you guys to understand the different types of consumers and how you get them from a food web. If you still have questions or anything like that, please let me know. You can message me and then I'll make another video, or tomorrow during our class meetings, you can ask. I hope you guys are all safe and you're healthy and you're all well taken care of. And I miss you all very much. I'll talk to you guys tomorrow, and I hope you have a good day.